Qiao Enhao saved the photo before putting the phone aside. She tilted her head, looking at the man beside her. Even asleep, he still managed to give off a lonely aura as though he really hated human interactions. Qiao Enhao stared at Lu Jinian silently for a long time before reaching out to caress his face. A shock ran through her fingertips, rapidly diving into her heart. Her heart pounded uncontrollably. If Lu Jinian was awake, she would have never acted so absurdly. Qiao Enhao fell into a trance. Physically, he was just a reach away, and yet, the two of them were worlds apart. She started to think about her feelings for Lu Jinian. It really was quite incredible for her to sustain a one-sided love in silence for 13 years. From the 13-year-old naive teenager to the 26-year-old grown woman right now, Qiao Enhao spent her best years devoted to Lu Jinian. There was no hesitation, no holding back. She had given him all her love. As she thought about the painful one-sided relationship, tears welled up in her eyes and streamed down uncontrollably. Very softly, in a voice barely audible, she said to Lu Jinian, "Lu Jinian, do you know? I've only ever dreamed about confessing this love, only ever dreamed of telling you I love you." Slowly, she took a long deep breath, her lashes lowered. She then silently reached out to pull Lu Jinian's arms away and left the bed. As soon as she left his arms, she felt her body go cold. Her clothes had been torn beyond salvation. She walked over to Lu Jinian's closet, but there were no women clothes. She searched around and settled for a simple shirt. Lu Jinian was much taller than her, so the shirt was long enough to be a dress. Qiao Enhao didn't dare to go near the bed, afraid that the same thing might repeat itself. She stayed on the sofa in the living room, far away. Unable to stay awake any longer in the second half of the night, Qiao Enhao dozed off sleepily. However, due to the bad sleeping position, she was awake the minute the sun hit her face. Rubbing her eyes, she looked towards the bed. Lu Jinian was still asleep. Qiao Enhao walked to the bed. She reached out with her hand, preparing to touch Lu Jinian's forehead to feel whether his fever had subsided, but before she reached him, she felt someone roughly grabbing onto her arm. Stunned, she looked down, colliding with Lu Jinian's eyes.